What's up, everybody? Leone here today with a review video for you guys. Finally, I've been talking about this mod for probably goes back to about 2 months now, and I'm finally here to bring you the review for it. It gives me great pleasure to do the review for this Gangmod from Fumi Vapor. Alright, so here we are with the Gangmod. Today is Friday, and I'm very happy to bring you this review. I'm wearing my Fumi Vapor t-shirt that they sent me. Thank you guys for that. It's very nice. Yes, the Gangmod from Fumi Vapor. This one, I'm going to get into it right now. I'm going to tell you right off the bat before we continue this video. Retails for $249.99. So if your jaw has already dropped, you may want to stop the video here because this may not be for you. This is definitely a high-end piece. Comes with a high-end price tag, obviously. I have a lot of info to cover on this guy. I'm going to try to do my best to cover everything and let you guys know everything I can about the Gangmod. So let me start off with what it is. Obviously, it's a mod. It's a mod that resembles brass knuckles, you know, knuckles. Very expensive high-end mod. It is not to be used as a weapon. It is basically a piece of art. It is a piece of art. Not basically, it is a piece of art. This is something that you're going to purchase, you're going to use at your home, leave at your home for the most time. I mean, I wouldn't be walking around with a $250 mod. I wouldn't want to ruin it. So, that's that. I'm going to read some of this novel I was sent, which is nice that they actually have all their stuff written out and all the specs for me here, so make it nice and easy. I'm going to start with some specs for you here on my notes here. So it's made by CNC Machines. It's made out of aluminum. It weighs 0.7 pounds. Its length is 5 inches. Width is 3.14 inches. Depth is 1 inch. It's using a kamry tech chip. It uses a single 18650 battery. Make sure you use a high drain, you know, high amp battery, like a 30 amp or a 35 amp battery. Use a safe battery. It can fire from 0.2 up to basically 9 ohms, so, you know, high. But down to 0.2. Spring loaded 510, and the pin is a copper pin in there. It's got a TFT LCD color screen display, and it comes with 3 collectible plates, which I'll show you in the up close segment. And then something those were the quick specs on it. Something else I want to quickly go over is brass knuckles are pretty much illegal in a lot of states. I did some research and looked up my state laws here, and I have the info pulled up. And let me read it to you really quick. Brass knuckles. I am from Illinois, just so you guys know. They are illegal in Illinois. So here we go. Let me read you what I got here. Some states like California, Michigan, Illinois, and Vermont prohibit the possession and sale or use of brass knuckles, in addition to devices that look like brass knuckles. Other states like South Carolina make possession of brass knuckles illegal only if they are used with intent to commit a crime. Some other states ban metallic knuckles, while others ban hardened knuckles of any kind. Materials used to make hardened knuckles include brass, steel, hard, plastics, and acrylic. Although the possession of a pair of brass knuckles is generally a misdemeanor crime in the states where they are against the law, using brass knuckles in a violent crime can lead to felony charges. Yes, so they are illegal in the state of Illinois, California, and Michigan and Vermont, at least from what I'm reading here. But on their website, they will have a list of vendors, not vendors, a list of states they ship to. States they don't ship to, it's because it's illegal in your state. They can't sell to states where it's illegal. So if you do decide to order it, go on their website and check that out before you go through with it. They won't be able to sell it to those states. So unfortunately, not everybody will be able to get one of these if you're in a state that doesn't allow it. So it's definitely legal in my state. So if I walk around with this, I basically can get, you know, a ticket, arrested, whatever would happen to me. I don't even want to find out, so I'm not going to even try with all these crazy cop stuff been going on lately. Gangmod does have a set of vaporizers that are going to be released in September and through the beginning of next year also. There are going to be basically not brass knuckle like this, so they will be able to ship them to more states. They have a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline. They have a LJ4A version of this called Liberty Justice for All, which isn't going to have these roundish areas here. It's just going to have like a curve area here, so you can sit your hands there. That's going to be able to be sold in all states. So if you can't get one now and you do want one, there are more legal versions, I should say, more friendly versions coming out that you'll be able to get your hands on if you are interested in this. They have a lot of stuff in the pipeline coming, and I'll be bringing you a lot of that stuff as it comes, so you guys can check that stuff out for yourself. So yes, beware, this is not a weapon, it's not a toy, it's an e-cig, and it's an e-cig that should be used with extreme caution because of the way it looks. And on their website, they also have a little tab there which says proper usage and tips. So before you purchase it, make sure you read that. So let's go dive down to the table here. Let's take a closer look at this. Let's dissect it a little bit here, and then we'll come back up and we'll talk a lot more about this guy. So here we are up close to the package, which is too big to fit all on camera here. But it is a nice clamshell package, kind of like an iPhone packaging type thing. Comes very nicely packaged. I have to move my camera for this one. I have to go this way. Some disclaimers on the back, which will go over proper usage and tips. Bunch of info here on the back, and all that stuff. Anyways, then we'll take off this sleeve here. Then you open her up, and you got another little protecting piece of plastic. Take that out, and then you'll have your Gangmod. You have your two plates here, which I'll show you in a minute, and this whole piece will come out. And underneath there, you'll have a polishing cloth which fell out. You have an inspection card, and you'll have a little bit of a manual here. Is this a manual? Yes, this is a manual, so it's going to have some info, specifications, and all that kind of stuff in there. So it's a very nice presentation on this one. Let me set my camera back down. Okay, so very nice presentation. And then inside you're going to have the Gangmod there, and you're going to have these two artistic plates, which we'll take a look at closely. But let's start with the mod itself. Let me brighten up some light here. There we go. So yes, obviously it looks like brass knuckles. Well, not brass, but you know, knuckles. So this is where you're going to be holding the device. If you power it on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can turn it on. It says kamry. It is a kamry board inside here. This board has though been used in other boxes. I've seen it used in an SMY box and whatnot. So yes, it is made of aluminum. And on the top here, you have your 510 pin, and it is a spring-loaded pin. Loaded pin, you can see that there. And it is, according to the spec sheet I have, a copper pin in there. And then if we go down to the side of the device here, you'll see this rounded edge here, which is a fire button. It's a recessed button, so you can't accidentally fire it. We'll talk about that a little more later also. It's a very clicky button. Very nice firm press on this button. I do like that. And then if we roll over to the bottom, we have a quality control sticker right here. 3 vent holes, so you do have battery venting in case of a catastrophic failure. Make sure with a device like this you use IMR batteries, high drain batteries, 30 or 35 amp batteries, especially if you're going to be rocking it around 60 watts. On this side here we have a nice design here. It looks like what appears to me to be spiders, or a spiderish type design on each one of these rounded areas. So it's very nice. And then we're back at the top again. And this ring here is 22 millimeters, so all your 22 millimeter addies will sit flush on there. And then here obviously we have the face, and we have the up and the down button for your wattage adjustments. And then we have the back here. On the back, you have this plate that comes pre-installed, and there is a groove. When I first got it, I was like, how the hell do you take this plate off? I'm trying to grab it up, and it won't come off, which is good. It's on there secure. Those magnets are holding it well. But if you could see, there's a little notch right there. There's a notch right here. You can see my finger will just go right in. Boom. And that plate comes off. And these plates are made of stainless steel. And you can definitely tell they are... they're heavy. They're heavy little plates. This is the Fumi Vapor logo here. It's the F and that's the V. So that's their little logo. It's a very nice one. My favorite one out of all three of these plates is going to be this one right here. This is very nice. I believe from what he told me, they had an artist actually come in and design the art for Fumi Vapor. And you can see it's kind of looking like a Joker or a clown type thing. Very nice. I love this one. So you got that. And then you have this one also that comes with it. And this one's got a couple details to it. It says Hollywood up here. They are located in California, this company. There's a building. It says LA. You see a sword up here. I believe some piles of money. There's some hearts, a star. It's really detailed. It looks like another building here. I'm sure if I was from California, some of this stuff would have some significance to me. Obviously, I'm not. So it is very nice artwork on here if you take a look at that a little bit better. It's nicely engraved in here. It's done well. It's done well. All of these are done really well. So you have your choice of plates you could use between the three here. I do like this one the best though. Also on these plates, one thing I want to mention is there is a scratch resistant coating on here, I guess, to prevent these from getting scratched. I haven't had any issues getting them scratched, so it hasn't been an issue for me. But it does say in the specs that they are covered with a scratch resistant coating. Now all of these plates here do have magnets. You got 1, 2, 3 down here, and 4 here, this bigger one. And you have this lip here. That's where the lip sits on there so you can pull the plate off. So those magnets will correspond with the magnets here on the mod. And these two here are screw holes, not magnets. Magnet there, magnet there, magnet there, and then the big whopping magnet there. And it is just a single 18650 battery in here. And it does have the ribbon, which you can pull out your battery nicely. Using a Sony VTC4. It's an old battery actually. And then inside of here you have, yes, you have it clearly labeled. Take this ribbon out of the way. It says 18650, negative down here, and there's a positive up here, but the lighting's not working for me today. Yes, so it goes positive side up, like so. And it fits in there nicely, and boom. And then you just take your plate of your choosing, and we're going to go with the one I like the most, and it just pops right on there. It's secure. It's not going anywhere. The only way to get this plate off is by grabbing it from the notch at the bottom. Otherwise, the plate's not going anywhere. So that's what it looks like with that plate on there. Pretty badass in my opinion. I think that looks sick. Let's take a quick look at the screen and the menu. It's very simple. I'll go over it really quickly with you. Up here, you're going to have your battery bar and the voltage remaining. Up here, you're going to have your atomizer resistance, which I don't have an atomizer on. Let me put one on real quick. And you'll see that resistance going crazy there for a second. It does that when you first put an addy on there. After you fire it once, then it seems to adjust again, but then it doesn't move anymore. I don't know. It's just something weird it does. If I take the addy off, you'll see the resistance jump again. It's gone crazy, and then it disappears. And then I'm screwing it back on. And the resistance goes back down to 1.9. I don't know. This is a 1.8 ohm coil in here. Up here, you got a puff counter. Voltage being applied to give you said wattage. And then you got, if you had a maximum amount of puffs set, it would be here. Right now I have it on max, meaning I have no limit. So you could set how many puffs it will let you take if you're trying to limit your vaping. Down here you have your date. It is weird how they put it. It's August 6th, 2015, and the time is 2:13. And then down here you have this like speedometer type gauge. It goes from 7 to 60 watts, obviously. And here is the seconds when you take a puff. So you can see it counting. It counts your puff time. And I'll adjust this here for you so you can see that gauge move in action. So I'm at 7, and it goes all the way up to 60 watts. And you'll see that. So the reason it stopped there is because the chip's limit is 1.4 volts to 8 volts, so it's at the 8 volt limit, so it can't go any higher with this atomizer attached. So I'll pull the atomizer off just so I can show you going all the way up here. Boom. So yeah, 1.4 to 8 volts is the output voltage that it can go out to. And it can fire resistances from 0.2 all the way to 9.9 ohms. So pretty much anything 0.2 and up, you're safe. And you got a good range here because you got 8 volts of power to work with as far as capabilities. Quickly, let's look at the menu. 1, 2, 3. We'll get you in the menu and you'll see system settings. Some of you may be familiar with this because, again, some other mods are using this chip out there. Obviously, it's not showing up great, but I'm on power. There's power off, and the setting you're on is highlighted with this like greenish color. But for some reason, my camera's not picking that color up great. So I don't know if you can see that. I apologize if you can't. Anyway, there's power off, which obviously turns the device off. There's vaping mode. If you click on that, you'll be able to turn it into an automatic type thing. Or if you press the fire, and it goes pretty quick like that. 1, 2, 3. Basically, vaping mode, you can set it to a manual, so if you press the button, it will fire for 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, or whatever seconds you have it set for. It's like a auto fire. Basically, when you press the button, it will fire for a set amount of seconds. 2, 3. Then you have a date and time. Obviously, you go in here, you can adjust your date and time. Pretty self-explanatory. 1, 2, 3. Puffs and puffs reset. You could reset all your puffs. Pretty self-explanatory again. I'll go to no. 1, 2, 3. Get back in. There's no back. It just exits the menu. Then you got standby time for a minimum of 3. And then you go all the way up to 5 minutes if you want the screen to stay on that long, but I don't see why you would. And then the last 1, 2, 3 is puff sets. That's where you can go in and limit the amount of puffs you can have per day. So you could say, I only want to have, that's a lot of puffs, 400 puffs or whatever. You could set it to that, and then when it hits that, it's going to alert you telling you it took too many puffs. If that interests you, that's there. So I'll leave it at max because I don't need that. And that's the menu. It's pretty darn simple. And that's the Gangmod itself. One other thing I want to quickly skim over. I forgot to mention this. These plates all have names. This is the Fumi Street Art Design. That's what this one's being called. This one here obviously is the Fumi Art logo. And then this one here is called the Samurai Warrior. So that's what that is there. It's not a clown. It's a Samurai Warrior. Just figured I'd throw it in there. And one other thing I quickly forgot to mention is those plates are heavy, if I haven't said that. These little contact plates here on the bottom, on the top and the bottom, they are made of brass material, just so you know. But that's it. Let's go up top. I'm gonna have a lot more to talk about on this guy, and I'll tell you what I think about it. So that was it, all nice and close up. The camera angles were all messed up because it's so big that it didn't even fit on my camera. The packaging was big. Everything was awkward to shoot up close on this because it's so massive. Here's a Coolfire 4. I know it's not really a great comparison, but you can see from the two side by side, it's massive. It's definitely massive. But one thing about it is comfortable. It is probably one of the most comfortable mods I own because of its form factor. I mean, obviously, it sits in your hand like brass knuckles do. Your hands go in here. I can walk around my house and talk, you know, and do everything. I'm not worried about dropping it because it's in there. And I like to drop mods. I'm clumsy. I drop everything. I mean, I couldn't tell you how many tanks I've dropped and broke because I'm clumsy. So this is definitely hitting a factor of comfortability with me, and I do like that. It's very nice to hold. And I'm going to go over some pros, some cons, and I'm going to give some suggestions at the end, some things I think need to be changed, maybe for further revisions in the future. It's just my advice, you know, obviously my opinions. Pros on this device, again, it's comfortable. I said that already. The styling, the looks, the artwork, these plates that they include with it, the 3 artistic plates. I love the Samurai Warrior one that I'm using now, which I showed you up close. It's very nice. You can get it in black and in chrome. It's like a chrome mirrored finish. It's very shiny. I chose to get the black one because fingerprints, they drive me nuts, so I got black. They have a nice chrome one, so if you're into that chrome shiny look, they have it. Check it out on their website. That one also looks very, very fancy and very nice. You know, it's got a good range of wattage from 7 to 60 watts. It's a pretty good range, and it can give you up to 8 volts of power. You know, spring loader 510 is good. The battery door, where these plates go, they're on here firm. They don't wobble. They don't fall off. You really have to get your nail in there and prop it up. So it's held on there securely, and when it pops in, it pops in. It's not going anywhere. So that's very nice. Again, the screen. I like the screen on this. This is subjective because some people may not like this, but I like this bright colored screen here. I think it's really nice. The button, which I forgot to also mention, it's a stainless steel. Yes, it's made of stainless steel, and I believe it's coated. The button is nice. You could hear the clickiness. It's a firm click. It's very responsive. Yeah, I feel it like instantly, tactile feel. The same thing with the other two up and down buttons. Very clicky also. And it just flat out works. It works. I mean, it's a really a good looking piece of mod. So yeah, it's definitely a nice piece. It looks nice on my shelf. I really admire the look of this device. It's got aesthetics for days. Now let's get to some cons, because there are some cons on this. There's quite a bit of cons actually. So let's start with the one issue I noticed right off the bat in using this. And yes, it's still doing it, so I can verify it on camera. When I do press the fire button, there's about a half a second delay, and a lot of China chips do this, where I'll press it, and I won't feel it kick in for a half second. And I'll try to let you hear the button click, and then you'll hear when the Addy goes. So I hope you could hear that. You hear the click, and then half a second later you hear it firing. It's a little bit of a delay on it, which is definitely a con. So when I first got it, that annoyed me, because I was like, oh, because I'm used to taking drags on an RDA a certain way. I press that button 1 second and I blow it out. Now with this, it's like, I need more juice. Hold please. And by the way, I'm using some juice they sent me. This is their Tokyo e-liquid. It's very good, very candy melon-ish. I'll be doing a review on their e-liquid next week, but I've been pleased with this Tokyo juice, especially for candy type vapes. And I'm not a candy vape guy either. So this is how I would usually vape. I'm getting barely anything because it's that half second delay is kind of throwing my vape off. So it's annoying to me. What else? The 510. I've had certain issues, not with everything, but like this Zenith clone here fits on there fine. Let me put on this. You know, it could not be a fault of the mod. It could be a fault of just all these devices having varying lengths in their 510s. The Beast fits on, the Triton tank fits on there pretty fine, by the way. That's coming up sometime in the near future also. That fits on there fine. My sub tank, mini tank, and my Silo Beast tank won't sit all the way down. It could be a fault of the tank, could be a fault of the 510 on here. I'm not too sure. I'm just letting you know my experiences with it. If you have one, let me know if you've had the same experiences. Again, 510s vary. Some are longer, some are, you know, there needs to be a set pattern for 510 so everything just works right, but there's not. Final con, which may be maybe the most pet peeve to some people, is the chip. It's a Kamry chip. Nothing wrong with Kamry whatsoever. All I'm saying is the mod is only as good as its chip. If it had a nicer chip in here, I could definitely say, okay, 250, no big deal. It's, you know, it's an Evolve board, or it's the SX350J chip with a temp control, the 60-watt one that's in the SX Mini M class. That's a good chip. Now there's the new DNA 200 board, which is, I'm hearing a good chip. I haven't used one. There's a lot of good boards, China and US boards out there. This Kamry board, the ohms seem to be off by an ohm one way or the other. It's either 1 ohm higher or 1 ohm lower. Like that delay, that's a fault of the chip, I'm believing it to be. And in the close-ups, you saw how the ohms kind of go crazy when you first put an addy on there. It doesn't mess with my vape at all, but it does happen, and I did show you that. So a lot of people are going to say 250, yes, it's a beautiful mod, and then they're going to say, oh, but it's got a China chip. I already know that's one of the comments that I'm going to receive, or many of the comments I'm going to receive about this, is because it's got a Kamry chip. So I could see maybe if they put, you know, this is the suggestion, I guess, is a better chip, or not fix the chip, but tweak the chip, so that it doesn't have a delay. The ohm reading's a little more accurate. I mean, it doesn't read down to, you know, how now chips are starting to read down even more accurate, like 0.51, 0.52. This one just gives you 0.5, 0.6, 0.7. You know, it's not as accurate as a lot of the other ohm readings on other chips. So that's something to be aware of. It's not a bad chip by any means. I'm just saying that something that could justify it being a little more pricey too is a chip, like a good you know, Evolve or SX, not SX, a Yeehee board. Those Yeehee boards are probably my favorite boards out there right now. They just work, and they work well. So yeah. Otherwise, that's pretty much it. I can't find too much more on this. It's a pretty solid filling device. Again, if you like high-end mods, this is going to be up your alley. You like things that are comfortable to hold like this. This is really comfortable to hold. It's a fantastic vape. The other suggestion I would have said was I was hoping it would have been a dual. I knew it wasn't, but I was hoping they were going to have a dual 18650 configuration. Or even if it wasn't a dual 18650, at least room for a 26650, which is the bigger battery. These guys here, which I don't see them being used as much anymore in vaping. But just so it had more battery life, because it does go up to 60 watts, and you will go through 18650s in a heartbeat. Something else I forgot to mention in the close-ups is actually how to lock the device. So if you don't want to accidentally fire it, you press the up and the down buttons right here at the same time, and you'll see when you try to fire it, it says, camera can't see it, but it says lock, click, it says locked, click plus and minus to unlock. So yes, you can't fire it when it's in that state. So if you do want to lock the device without turning it off, just hold the plus and the minus buttons and you're good to go. If you are interested in this, go over to Gangmod.com. I'll have the links below. They gave me a number if you want to contact them if you have questions, and an email, which I'll also post below, to contact them if you have any questions. And they also provided me with a coupon code. So if you are interested, take advantage of the coupon code. It will save yourself some money. I believe it's 10% off, so $250. That will equate to 25 bucks off, so it'll bring it down to $225. So lighten it a little bit if you are interested in this. With the coupon code LeoneGang10, which will be right here or somewhere on the screen, and I'll also post it below. Save yourself some money if you are interested. So if you got that kind of money, you're you like high-end mods, and you're into comfortable mods, and this is really appealing to you, which it is to me, obviously, I'd recommend it. So yeah, I would definitely recommend it. It's a high-end piece. You know, it's going to appeal to those high-end vapors out there that like high-end, authentic pieces. That's pretty much it. This video is probably very long as it is. Wait till I edit it down. Hopefully it'll be a little shorter. That was the Gangmod from Fumi Vapor. Gangmod.com is the website once again. I thank you all for watching this video. I hope it was informative and entertaining, at least in a little bit. And if you want to subscribe to my channel, down here below. As always, live well and vape on.